Hi and welcome. We are from Business Law subject code HPT 20203 and our best lecturer is Dr. Sally Hassan. We are group 22 and we will be presented the remedies available for breaches of franchise agreements. So we have 4 group members which are Nur Anis Jannah binti Zakaria, Nur Amirah binti Mama Arifin, Nur Syuhada binti Mama Asri and Puteri Nur Eliyana binti Arifin.
What is franchise? A franchise is a business owner who pay fee and royalties to a franchisor for using their brand and business model. They manage daily operation including hiring but must adhere to the franchisor business format. A franchisor owns the business model and provide support to franchisee, helping them develop their skill and grow. Franchisee benefit from an existing customer base, brand recognition, a proven model, ongoing support, and predictable costs. This is an example for top franchise in Malaysia. We have Mary Brown, Tea Life, Family Mart, and 7-Eleven.
And that is the example of biggest franchise in Malaysia. Hi, I'm Anis, and I will talk about how to establish franchise business in Malaysia. Now that we have a good understanding of evaluating the market potential, let's dive into the legal aspect and the step required to establish a franchise business in Malaysia. Our first point is be familiar with the Franchise Act of 1998. This is the main law that rules Malaysia franchise company. It describes the laws that apply to franchisor and franchisees alike. Second, communicate with the Department of Consumer Affairs, Comparative and Domestic Trade. The Franchise Act of 1998 is controlled by this ministry. This ministry's franchise development division is in charge of managing franchise operation and providing safety. The third point is register with the Registry of Franchise. The Registry of Franchise is the entity that all franchise business must register. For operation to be recognized legally in Malaysia, this registration is important. Next, create a franchise contract. The franchisor who owns the brand and the franchisee who operates it are partners to this agreement. As long as all terms and conditions are met, it permits the franchisee to run a company the franchisor's name. 5. Prepare the necessary material. The agreement to franchise, registration document and other important business and legal data are among the many pieces of comprehensive material required for registration. 6. Send in an application. Send the completed application and any necessary supporting materials to the Registry of Franchise for clearance. Last but not least, 7. Agree with ongoing recruitment. Following registration, franchise enterprises are recruited by the Franchise Act of 1998 and the registry to keep up to some ongoing reporting and operating recruitment.
Franchise and vicarious liability. Whether franchisor is liable for the acts of its franchisee, franchising is generally not liable for the actions of franchisees. As established in Conward v. Jamfru Corp 1999, the court ruled that franchisors cannot be held liable for the franchisees' action unless they exercise control over their operations. Therefore, franchisors cannot be cautious about their control to avoid liability for the franchisee's negligence. What is vicarious liability? Vicarious liability is a legal principle that holds one party, such as a principal or employer, liable for the wrongful actions or negligence of another party, such as an agent or employee within their agency or employment relationship. The degree of control a franchisor exercises over the franchisee is a key factor in determining vicarious liability, and a franchisor must be mindful of their control levels to minimize the risk of liability. Case study: Lebat v. McDonald's Restaurant 1994. Stella Lebat, the plaintiff in Lebat v. McDonald's Restaurant, inadvertently spilled hot coffee from a McDonald's restaurant, resulting in third-degree burns. She asked McDonald's for $20,000 but they turned her down. Her lawyer filed claim for gross negligence, claiming there was a greater chance of serious injury from the hot coffee. The jury awarded Lebat $2.7 million in punitive damages and $200,000 in compensatory damages, finding McDonald's 80% at fault. The punitive damages were lowered to $640,000 by the trial judge. nature of the franchise agreement, vicarious liability may also be affected by the particular terms and conditions of the franchise agreement. For example, if the agreement states that the franchisee is an independent business operator accountable for their own actions, this could lessen the possibility that the franchisor will be held vicariously liable. Case study Patterson v. Domino's Pizza 2014. A 16-year-old employee of Asri LLC, a Dominican franchisee, and its franchisor, 3 Dominican entities, filed a lawsuit claiming that Marina, the assistant manager of the restaurant, had harassed by physically abused her in a sexual manner. Dominican entities contended that since Marina is an independent contractor and there isn't a principal-agent relationship with Dominican entities, they are not liable for Marina's activities because of their franchise agreement with Asri, which expressly specifies as much.
Franchise and vicarious liability. Whether franchisor is liable for the act of its franchisee. As a general rule, a franchisor is not liable for the act of its franchisee. Franchisor should be cautioned when considering the extent of control over the franchise operation so as to avoid liability for the negligence of the franchise. Is vicarious liability. A vicarious liability is a legal principle that holds one party, the principal or employer, liable for the wrongful action or negligence of another party, the agent or employee, when the action occurs within the scope of the agency or employment relationship. Factor and legal consideration. Control and agency relationship. The degree of control the franchisor exercises over the franchisee plays a significant role. If the franchisor maintains a high level control over the franchisee's operation, it may increase the likelihood of vicarious liability. Nature of the franchise agreement. The specific term and condition of the franchise agreement can also impact vicarious liability. If the franchise agreement stipulates that the franchisee is an independent business operator responsible for their own likelihood of the franchisor being held vicariously liable.
What is remedies? A court can impose penalty, make order, or enforce right via the use of remedies. They consist of restitution, which is paying back an unfair advantage, equitable remedies, which require compelling someone to do or refrain from doing something, and legal remedies, which entail paying money, recompense for injury. These uphold right and guarantee justice. When a franchise agreement is breached, several remedies may be available. First, termination of franchise agreement. The franchisor may have the right to terminate the franchise agreement in case of serious wrongful act, such as breach of contract, fraud, or significant misconduct. Termination allows the franchisor to sever deal with the franchise. Second, damage. The franchisor may seek monetary compensation for any loss or damage caused by the wrongful act. Damage may include financial loss incurred due to the franchise action. Third, injunction. In case where the franchise action are ongoing and causing irreparable harm, the franchisor may seek an injunction from a court to stop the franchise from continuing the wrongful act. An injunction is a court order that prohibits the offending behavior. Lastly, liquidated damage. The franchise agreement may specify liquidates damage in the event of certain breaches. These are predetermined amount that the franchise is required to pay if they breach the contract.
Conclusion. Franchise law involves understanding the responsibility and legal risk for both franchisor and franchisee. Vicarious liability means a franchisor can be held responsible for the action of a franchisee if they have significant control over the franchisee's operation. That's all from us. Thank you.